Hello everyone. So today we're going to be going through the patch 3.35 notes for Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn in the expansion Heavesward. So let's get straight to it. Let me just do monitor capture. Sorry. Right, okay. So here are the patch notes. So I will leave a link in the description as well of the of where to see the notes, so you should just see them on the official lodestone, basically. So 3.35 is not a major number, so it's not like the major numbers. When we say major patches, are the point whole number. So the next major patch will be 3.4. This is 3.5. This is like halfway in between 3.3 3.4, so it's going to bring a couple of features, so but not a huge amount. So, patch 3.35 brings a number of additions and refinements to the realm, including Deep Dungeon, Palace of the Dead, the start of Feast Season 2, and more. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this out word for word, but I'm going to just go through it. So this basically says you can't play 3.35 unless you have the expansion, simple as that. So, new side story quests. So, House at Death built. So I'm guessing these are the quests that you need to do in order to unlock the Palace of the Dead. And if you have actually finished floor 50 in Palace of the Dead, then there's this ending quest called Nightmare's End. So, I guess we'll see what rewards we get from that. The Palace of the Dead, if you don't know what it is like a... Think Wu Tai Tower in Final Fantasy VII, or Muchin Tower in Blade and Soul. It's basically like a series of battles on each floor, and each floor you go higher in, it escalates. Except with the Palace of the Dead, I think you actually go deeper down into the world, which is kind of creepy. So, but it's the same concept basically, is that the more you progress, the more difficult it's going to be. They showed it off at E3, they showed it in a number of places. Okay, so then it says, the NPC Mender of Sticks has been added to Bar Lays. Okay, players must first complete the Beast Tribe quest Tricks and Stones. New poses have been added to Doze. Players can cycle through these with change pose, dozing on a bed, and so on. Nice. So this is obviously good for Mikote, especially because you guys know I play Mikote in the game. It's like for whenever you doze with them, they like sleep on their belly with their legs up, which is not a really comfortable way to sleep. So whereas now you'll be able to go to sleep pose, to lying straight on your back. In fact, let's actually go into the game and let's see if we can do it now actually. So one sec, let's try doze. Now I probably should go to a bed before I worry about any of that stuff, so one sec. Let's go back to the mansion. We'll go to Mithrie's private chambers and we'll take a look there. Okay, this is just a quick one. I don't want to show all the features of the game as they are. I just want to show this one in particular, because this is a long time coming. It's one of those, it was never vital, but it's nice that it's in there sort of changes. So additional, go to my private chambers. Yep. So let's see what the different things are. So if we click here, those. Okay, so this is how they normally sleep, which is kind of odd. So now let's do change pose. Nice. Way better. That's an initial one. I wonder if there should be more. So again, let's try change pose. Oh, she's so comfortable. Little Mithrie. Blub, 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 blub. Let's see if there's any more. Change pose. And that's it, back to normal. So they're the three change pose for sleeping, at least for Mikote. Let me know if you think that they're an improvement, especially for your own classes as well. I think this is my favorite one for Mikote. Oh, isn't she adorable? Anyway, let's go back to the patch notes. Cool. Now, let's see. Wow, Lola fell. Lazy. Like recent earthquake in Japan, the counter for estate auto demolition has been suspended until the release of 3.4. Fair enough, fair enough. So, and it's because there's obviously, this is a Japanese game, so they have to respect that the vast majority are Japanese players. So any events in Japan which could prevent players from doing things in the game, they obviously take into account. So the following adjustments have been made to PvP actions. So read this at your own leisure. I don't really PvP in this game, but hopefully they've made it better, more balanced, stronger where it's weak, and so on and so on and so on. So, and let's see, Season 2 of the Feast will begin. Season 2 of the Feast will start with 3.35, scheduled at the end of maintenance for patch 3.45. Okay, so what the Feast is, if you don't know what it is, it's the PvP seasons of Final Fantasy XIV. Simple as that. We've already finished Season 1. The more battles you do, the higher your rating becomes, the more you go up the ladder. There's a website that tracks the ladder and so on. So, yeah, it's just down to, do you want to be victorious? So, let's see. And again, more PvP changes. So, like I said, read it at your own leisure. So, let's see. The drop rates of White, Lana, Whistle, and I guess these 3 mounts has been increased. These items may also be purchased in Idleshire for Hive totems, Expanse totems, and so on. Okay, so if you somehow have collected this many totems and still haven't got them out for whatever reason, then you can simply buy it now. So there is a limit on how many runs you have to do in order to get those mounts. So Deep Dungeon, Palace of the Dead has been added. The Palace of the Dead is an ever-changing dungeon whose architecture is never quite the same. Each time players enter to explore its depths. All players will begin at level 1. Only by fighting the enemies will they be able to gain the strength and experience needed to reach the final floor. For those stout-hearted adventurers who have decided to take the plunge, be sure to ready your Aether Pool, armor, and arms, because in this spectral labyrinth, it may be your only hope of making it in one piece. To be honest, like my good friend Xenosis, he will probably get to floor 50 before I even log into 14. Because after this video, I'm going to be playing I Am Setsuna. So, let's see. Cool. And entry requirements. So, you go to New Gridania, talk to Najiro, and players must first complete the main scenario quest into a Copper Hell. Into a Copper Hell is so early in the game. It's like, it's maybe the second or third dungeon you do in the entire game. So, it's really, really easy to unlock this. Please note, however, players who have not purchased Heavesward may only be able to play up to floor 40. Players who currently are on a free trial may only play up to floor 10. But it's nice the fact that even if you're playing the free trial only, that you can actually take part in this. So, rule Palace of the Dead. Character growth. Players will start from level 1 regardless of the current class or job level. By defeating monsters that appear in the dungeon, players will be able to gain EXP and level the characters up to 60. The levels gained in the progression of the dungeon, however, will not be the same as players receive upon clearing. So players currently on free trial, okay, whatever. And then, yeah, this is like your basically, it says dungeon progression, and you get a weapon and an armor piece. That's it. You only get 2 pieces of gear for this dungeon, which affects everything. So this +9 affects all of your stats and so on. And you can get other items that boost you and help you along the way. The dungeon EXP. All enemy players encounter in the Palace of the Dead will give a fixed amount of EXP regardless of the number of members in your party or the difference in level between you and the enemy. Rested experience and experience bonuses will also be ignored. Okay, so basically, simply, it's its own world. It has its own rules. You know, nothing else from the outside affects it. There will be no adjustments to or restrictions on any actions, additional actions, or statuses. However, players must first reach the required level in the dungeon to have access to them. Players will even have the opportunity to gain actions and statuses above their current level, regardless of whether or not they have completed the necessary class or job quest. Please note that players who have entered the Deep Dungeon with the class will be restricted from using any job actions. What that means, if you don't know, basically you play a class up until level 30, at which point you unlock a... Sorry, what's that? So you can hear the bathtub in my personal room. Let's go to somewhere with a bit better music. I just don't want to hear this constant water sound. It's a little bit annoying. That's better. It's annoying, annoying, no, annoying. This song is annoying. It's annoying, annoying, no, annoying. Okay, back to this. So, Aetherpool gear. Players will be restricted to the use of an Aetherpool arm and Aetherpool armor when inside the Palace of the Dead. In addition to gaining levels, players must enhance these items as they progress through the dungeon. Note that Aetherpool armor will take the appearance of your current gear upon entering the instance. Fair enough. So, yep. And then strengthening gear. So, Aetherpool gear can be enhanced by accessing silver coffers. These coffers appear randomly on each floor after defeating certain enemies. When enhancing gear, there is a chance of failure that varies depending on the current level of your gear and the floor where the silver coffer is found. Aetherpool gear can be enhanced to a maximum strength of plus 30. In the event the strength of your Aetherpool gear exceeds the maximum allowed of your current level, its attributes will be synced. Okay? So Aetherpool gear is not subject to durability loss, nor can it gain Spirit Bond when inside the Palace of the Dead. This also applies to any gear equipped upon entering the instance. Okay. Pomander. Players will on occasion obtain Pomanders from treasure chests within the Palace of the Dead. These items have various uses, ranging from displaying the entire map of your current floor to providing players with beneficial effects. Up to 3 of each Pomander can be held anytime. These items can be found in a shared inventory to be used by all party members. Okay, fair enough. So that's what these items are called. They're Pomanders. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but sue me. Pomanders cannot be taken outside the Palace of the Dead. When a match party, they cannot be used after completion of a set of floors. Pomanders that affect the map cannot be overwritten with the same item with their effect already in play. Please note, however, that they will still be consumed upon use. Certain Pomanders can be used to transform the player into an enemy NPC. The effect lasts for 1 minute and will grant the user a different attack for the duration. Okay, so you can change yourself into a dragon, a manticore, a succubus, whatever, if you use a certain version of those items. Recording progress. Boss enemies will appear every 10 floors. Upon defeating them, players will be able to record their progress, at which time they may choose to leave the deep dungeon. Please note that progress made in strengthening Aetherpool arms and armor is saved independently and shared across all saved data. See below for more details regarding management of your data. So basically, every 10 levels you can save your progress if you want to leave and come back later. So simple as that. So entering Palace of the Dead. So players can enter Palace of the Dead by speaking to the Wood Whaler Expeditionary in South Shroud at Quarry Mill. When entering as a party, only the party leader can start the instance. Cool. So a fixed party, entering as a fixed party, and so on and so on and so on. So basically, you get the point. It's simply, we know what the system is about. We know that the better rewards when you move floor, and so on. You resurrect at these stones, I'm guessing out of combat, and so on. There's status effects that can help you along the way as well. You get items only for the dungeon to help you go through it. The more you progress through, the better upgrades you get. And there's treasure coffers, which will give you random treasures or potions or whatever. And that's it. So that is Palace of the Dead. So read this at your own leisure, basically, this section. To be honest, though, this might be like most of it. Okay, items. Additional items have been added. So, level 235. Okay, a bunch of items. And then... Ooh, I wonder what these 235 items are. And some minions. Okay. Wind up Squatch. And a Hecti minion. And new recipes have been added. Recipe for the following items have been adjusted. Okay. So a new map has been added, new minions have been added. He's adorable. He's not. Okay, so system, which is basically like just standard changes. So let's see, a new subcategory ranked PvP has been added to the battle category in the achievement list. New achievements have been added. Okay, so this is to do with the fact that there is a new feast season. That there's also the Palace of the Dead, and so on and so on and so on. And then that's it. New music has been added, fair enough, which is probably to do again with Palace of the Dead. And then the following issues have been addressed, so read this at your own leisure, bug fixes. And then known issues are known issue, simple as that. So an issue on floor 40 of Palace of the Dead wherein the boss's actions indicator does not accurately represent the range of its attacks. Okay, and then an issue, the Palace of the Dead, wherein fly text do not display correctly when using the item Commander of Witching. An issue in the Palace of the Dead wherein graphics for the enemy Immortal Flame do not display correctly, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And basically, don't worry about these known issues. They get fixed usually by the time they do the next patch. It doesn't have to be 3.4. They might do like a 3.51 or something just to get it sorted ASAP. So anyway guys, that's it for this video. I hope you're enjoying the game. I'm going to now be playing, my next Let's Play is going to be I Am Setsuna, which comes out today. And I'm also currently playing through Tales of Zestiria as well. And with my channel, I like to go through a game on livestream completely, beginning to end. I don't finish it. I mean, I don't not finish it, if you know what I mean. It's like I don't just do one stream and then move on. I'm not that sort of YouTuber. So remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. Please subscribe. You know, I'm getting so many views and not that many subscribers. I don't get it. It's like, why do I get nearly 10,000 views a day but like 20 subscribers? So guys, if you like my stuff, please subscribe. And you can follow me on Twitter at Mithrie Menifil. You can add me on Steam, Mithrie. You can add me on PSN, Zranx, ZRANX. You can also like me on Facebook.com/Mithrie. So stay in touch, guys, if you want to keep me up to date with everything. In my opinion, Twitter's the best way to get a hold of me, but you can also email me, mithrie.menifil@gmail.com. If you don't know where that address is ever in the future, just go to the About section of my YouTube channel. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye, guys.